What is up, guys? Patrick from NintenTalk here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at the Nintendo eShop, and I'm going to kind of be giving my suggestions and ways to improve the eShop. I think that the eShop is very important nowadays. Of course, the Switch being a hybrid console, a lot of people are taking this on the go. So I think now more than ever, people are starting to buy digital only. And I think eventually digital only will be the norm in the gaming industry. So I think that the eShop could be a very effective tool for Nintendo so that the consumers can easily find what games they're looking for. There's nothing worse than customers having the money there and not being able to find a product because of your problem. And I think that the eShop is a little bit of a problem child. So we're going to be looking and evaluating the eShop today. I would love to hear your guys' feedback if you want to leave comments after you watch the video. And I would love to hear your suggestions to fix this eShop. So let's go through it right now. And I've already loaded up the eShop. Very fast to load up. I do love that. And this is what you're hit with right when you load up the eShop. So you're automatically put on the recent release tab, which pretty much has the last week of games, depending on how many games have been released that week. And it just so happens that Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 just released at the time of this video. So today is the 18th of February. This game came out on the 16th. That was the last game that was released. If you go all the way down on this tab, you will go to Gunbird, which was released on the 8th. So there's a 10-day window. I mean, depending on how many games have been released, there have been 10s and 20 games that have been released on one given day. So this isn't always the case. So anything after 10 days, according to this eShop, is considered old, which is a big problem. Of course, you can hit View All, and it goes to this menu, which then you can kind of scroll down and see games that would be after Gunbird, which would be these games right here. So this first game, Arcade Archives Crazy Climber, I don't really know about this game, but this game was released also on the 8th. So right off the bat, you're seeing some flaws. You're seeing Gunbird is getting a little bit more of an advantage than Crazy Climber. Let's see when these games were. So you have another game that's on the 8th. So all these games past the 10th aren't really getting a lot of love unless you really are looking for something. So I think that there has been some advantages from having your game being released right away, and you can clearly see this. So I think that the recent release tab, although it's good, is a little bit too current and kind of, gets rid of the whole point of having a recent release tab. So you really have to dig and look around in this eShop. Next, you have games on sale, which I don't really have a problem with. People that are looking at sale items usually have the time to look around. And there's usually not a lot of sale games. Like this is actually pretty big sale. And it never crosses, there's no other menu to see view more. But the sales have been pretty good. Look right here. You have the bridge for 60% off. You have some good games, 50% off 2K. There are some good deals on here. I'm not really mad about games on sale. I think it's good. Best sellers is, the games that have been selling the best the last 2 weeks. So if you go all the way at the bottom, Nintendo even says these are the software titles that have been downloaded most frequently over the past 2 weeks. So this is a pretty good gauge of, the games that are being played the most by Nintendo fans, which I really like. I like that tab. That's probably my favorite tab. And coming soon is really cool because you can see the games that, are coming soon. And this goes pretty much all the way to end of March. So we are on the 18th right now. So it pretty much looks a month ahead, which I think is appropriate. And of course, when you go to these menus, the icons get bigger, which I can appreciate. And then you have your codes for eShop codes, which, it's all basic. The search feature is something that I want to quickly touch on. Unless you know the game's name, the search feature is a little cloudy. So you can go further into the search feature and you can have a price range, which I found very helpful. Say I only have about 15 bucks to spend. Well, I would look at this tab because it goes $10 to $29. I really like the price range. Genre, look at all these genres. You must be saying, well, Pat, what's the matter with this eShop? If there's so many genres, it must be so easy to find what game I'm looking for. Well, I have bad news for you guys. Let's look at Dragon Quest Builders for a second. Fantastic game. If I was looking for this game and I really didn't know the name, look down here. There are 4 genres: RPG, adventure, action, simulation. I mean, that's having that extra search feature. The genre search feature really doesn't help me because say I want an adventure game, you're getting so many different games. I mean, it doesn't really help at the end of the day. So I think that the search feature, a little broken. Recent releases, I don't think is fair because it only goes over the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it goes over the last 24 games. And there's been some days where 18 games have been released. So the games that are below that 24 threshold, they're going to be a lot, they're going to be hidden a little bit. Let's look at something that I really like and is a big potential for Nintendo. Let's see here. Let's find something. Okay, here's something that I really like. This is a tab on the news tab, and it says new this week. So if you click on this, it gives you a bunch of games that are new this week. Owlboy, Faye, Zeo Drifter, Aqua Kitty. This is awesome. This is a very cool thing. New this week. So these are the games that are coming out this week. Imagine if this was on the eShop. And of course, Nintendo has that prime real estate. They have Bayonetta 2 and Owlboy, 2 games that they're probably pushing this week. So I really like that. Let's try and find another one. Okay, so here's another one. It's try free demos. So these are all the games with demos. So you can clearly see here, Dragon Quest Builders, Pokken, every single game that has demos, it's all conveniently on this window. And of course, you see Dragon Quest Builders, Snipper Clips. Nintendo has made all these games very, very viewable for people, which I really like. I mean, there's so much potential here. Indie gems on Nintendo eShop. So they're showcasing about 5 indies that you can choose from. I really like this. It gives a lot of personality to the eShop, and that's on the news tab, guys. So I feel like this is a big thing that they're missing out on. Real quick, I want to shoot over to a good example of an eShop. So let's go to that right now. Surprise, surprise, we are visiting our old buddy, the Wii U. I think that this eShop is fantastic. So this is what you're greeted to on the Wii U if you boot up the eShop. And like I said, it's prime real estate. You see Nintendo is selling their games. Breath of the Wild, Splatoon, Super Smash Bros., Minecraft. And if you scroll further down, you get the Nintendo Selects, Mario Kart 8. So they're still just advertising single games. And right there, you're seeing new releases. Let's see how the Wii U handles new releases. You're seeing all these new releases. I mean, you still have to search them out, but you can clearly see there's 2 pages of new releases. I mean, I know that the Wii U eShop is not really at its best, and there's not a ton of new releases, but you can clearly see that these games that have been released have been out for quite some time. So let's go all the way to the bottom to Bonk 3. Shout out to Bonk 3. So this was released, I mean, we can't really gauge it because it is the Wii U, but it was released last June. So we can't really gauge that, but it's giving all these new releases the same attention. There's not big icons and then you search out little icons. It's all right here. So I really do appreciate that. Visually, it looks really good. At the top, you have your enter download code. You have your charts. So I like the way that they handle charts. This is essentially the best selling things. So these are the best sellers. I don't really know the time that they use to determine that. I thought that this was funny because most of these are virtual console releases. So Nintendo, bring us that virtual console. But yeah, I really like the way that they do it. Like I said, all the icons are small, and they all get that specific attention that they need. If you go further down, you have categories. So you have Mario games, Pokemon games, Zelda games, Sonic games, indie games. There's a separate tab for indie games, Lego games, Virtual Console, best sellers, games with demos. Like, this just all looks very clean to me. So let's see. I wanted a sports game. So you go into the sports game tab, and like I said, all of the games are very, all the icons are the same. They're all getting the same attention. And of course, you could search it out. At the top, you can sort by latest rating, which I don't think that the Switch has. You can't search by ratings. So it's very helpful if you're looking for something. They have fun on a budget, so if you don't want to spend that much money, and recommended for you. I love the way that the Virtual Console is set up, because you're getting all the systems clearly labeled. And then down here, you have some of the featured content. So you have some of the games that they want to highlight even more: Super Mario Maker, Pokken Tournament, bigger icons, because those are Nintendo games. That's what you want to sell. And then more to see is just all the Switch stuff that they're teasing Wii U people with. But they have just some pretty cool stuff here. I really like this eShop. I think it's effective. Let's go to the search feature to see if the Wii U beats the Switch. So here's the search feature here, and you can search a ton of stuff. Software and videos. You can select the genre. You can select the publisher. You can select the price. So it's just very user friendly. So I just really enjoy the Wii U eShop. One of the things that I just want to highlight before we go for the day, Nintendo, I think, deserves to showcase the games that they want to sell. The Switch could greatly benefit from this eShop, and I think eventually we will get an update. So I do like the featured Nintendo games. It's a lot easier for new consumers to find. I like the categories. I like the specific categories. If I just want a Lego game, I don't have to search for adventure in the genre thing. I also like the music in the background. I know it's kind of low on this recording, but it just gives the eShop some personality. You can easily search out multiplayer games, and of course the Virtual Console, which eventually, hopefully, we'll get. I don't know. I'm just in love with this eShop. I would love the Switch to take a bunch of stuff from this. I don't really like how the news is on here, but it does give little updates on like what's new to the eShop. So that's always nice. So guys, in closing, I would like to thank you for sticking around this long. If you have any suggestions for the Switch eShop, and I would love to hear them. Do you think that the Switch should look backwards to the Wii U for inspiration for their eShop? What would you like to see? What do you think of this video? Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video.